out just a little bit better.
Oh god, you're gonna make me hate myself for saying this, but yeah, I kind of wish that Zephyr would play his Venomancer again. I honestly feel like they use it really well. I am not a fan of Venomancer, but they use it in a great way. The deep vision that you get all the time with the Venom wards, the control they have of areas. He honestly has been very successful with them. They played it like 5 times already, so maybe here they can go back towards. Not that I think he played poorly on his Winter Wyvern, but his Winter Wyvern did get solved pretty much completely there by just no one's performance. And I think maybe Veno is a hero that's a little bit stronger in the early phase as well, able to, you know, help you facilitate those tier 2 pushes faster.
Well, I hope you're happy. Somewhere MLP is like screaming because that is one of his big triggers, apparently. I've seen all the memes all over Twitter. They do not like seeing that Venomancer. But I think you definitely have a good point, right? Because the way that Zephyr had to play in the last game was very reactive. It might be nice to see him play something that, you know, it's still a bit defensive in a way because you do have to set up all of those Plague Wards, but also can be a little bit more aggressive, can help with the push. Again, like, we were both like, oh god, Venomancer, like, oh, feel dirty talking, like, I should totally pick that, but it is a possibility, and it is something that they play exceptionally well.
Na'Vi chilling big time there after a first game win. They feel pretty good. They seem very comfortable here going into the draft for game 2.
Sully just taking a nap over there?
Yeah,
what's going on? Stay hydrated, everyone. Make sure you have a nice beverage with you as we start the draft of this game number 2. And we're still seeing those respect bans, right? We're seeing a respect ban coming out against Primal Beast. Na'Vi does not want to have to deal with that. But a little bit of respect headed out to the side of Na'Vi with the Enigma ban, because we saw, you know, it was hard, right? Lace had a difficult time. He was playing up against a Winter Wyvern. He was playing up against an Earthshaker. But he was so patient and had a lot of trust, honestly, with the rest of his team to open the door for him and be able to get those black holes once they had what was needed in terms of items and also just their positioning. So pretty cool stuff here.
Yeah, I wonder, I was just gonna say it, I wonder if they're gonna go for the Undying first still here. I feel like almost this first pick might be a little bit wasted against Na'Vi because they have not picked Undying a single time. They have not banned Undying a single time. I don't think they would contest your Undying. So taking him as your first pick, I feel like Na'Vi is the one team where maybe you could just wait. And if you want Undying, you can snag him up at any phase of the pick phase here. Because Na'Vi still, they're showing they don't care about Dirge at all.
No, it seems like it's... I don't even think they necessarily had a solution for him. It's just they didn't care about it. It felt like it was a non-factor in a lot of those fights. And I don't know if maybe that changes if you don't run it as a position 3 on Cuckoo, if you'd use it more as a support. But I guess it offers that flexibility to T1 for the draft. Flip side of things, though, looking over at Na'Vi, you've got some really nice lockdown coming out from them. You've got the Clockwork pickup, which also gives you some vision, which I always think is super important in your draft. And then you've got Alina, who's going to be able to get those Fiery Soul stacks up and be able to just chew through, you know, whatever they're throwing at them in terms of like a tombstone or, you know, just being able to sit pretty far back and be able to be a chain gun. Because we saw that, what game was that? Where they had just all the tanky beefy boys up front and then you just had the Lina sit far back and dish
I can't remember which particular one, but it's sort of a theme that we've seen. I mean, it was almost the same in the last game that we saw here with the Drow Ranger being the one to sit back and then having 3 heroes just jumping in front of her so that she could be allowed to deal damage. And Lina certainly, like you said, is one of those heroes that can scale up to be a super right clicker. And I like the opening coming out from Na'Vi here. I also like what T1 are doing. I think Morphling is a powerful hero currently. I just think he's really strong. Every game I watch Morphling, I think he's having big impact. So let's see if they can run this Morphling to have a little bit stronger late game than they had last game.
And we definitely saw a very active Morphling in some of the previous matches where they picked it up. I'm curious to see if they're going to really, you know, try to counter. We've seen a lot of like the Elder Titans that were getting pulled out of the woodwork, so to speak, trying to put pressure down on Morph. It usually was paired up, though, when the enemy team was having something like a Chen, so they could get the maximum amount of efficiency and damage using that spirit. But yeah, no, this is something that they played very well in the earlier game, so... happy to see it coming out for the side of T1.
going back to a little bit more comfort here for T1. I think the important thing is just that their draft doesn't end up being completely all in on one thing working, because I think Na'Vi are a team with the caliber that they can stop you from executing one single purpose. So you need to have a little bit of everything, or a little bit of a rounded draft that's capable of taking it in any different way. And Na'Vi, we see them banning out the Furion. They want to protect their towers, similar to last game. I think those early tower contests are really important. We saw how much these teams were standing off on mid lane and fighting. It felt like it was 5 minutes or something of both teams just bringing people towards mid lane, staring at the tier 1 towers.
There was a lot of staring going on. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous when you think about it. I would like to see some more lockdown over on the side of T1, and perhaps some more team fight, because this draft coming out from the side of Na'Vi, it has a lot of really nice things going on, right? You've got the you've got plenty of lockdown from the first place. You've got a way of latching now, which is also pretty important. Forcing your opponents, do you just leave that person behind? Do you stay and fight when you have something like a glimpse? You've got very good damage just within the laning phase, being able to throw out the Thunder Strike. I'm liking what Navi's got on the table so far. And they end up with a Tusk over on the side of T1.
Yeah, Tusk is not too bad to have on your team when you're against something like Disruptor. He can easily turn into food. And they did need some disables. Having Undying is always going to prompt you to get some solid disables in your team, because else you just run into the issue of the enemy TPing out from you over and over. So they're going to take Tusk, and as well as a Vengeful Spirit here. Okay. Haven't seen too much Venge.
They actually, I believe Na'Vi ran a Venge at one point, if my research...
Yeah, I think I saw them draft it one game. They haven't played it much, but I saw that they played it as well.
Yeah, they ran it against Tempest, actually, where they 2-0'd. It was Visage Clock, Venge, Pango, and a Phantom Lancer is what the lineup was over on Na'Vi. They did not play it, though, on T1, so I'm not sure if they're thinking, you know, perhaps we should protect. I'm not sure what the plan is with this particular hero, because she's not super meta. She's not bad, necessarily, but we haven't seen her really be used as a very strong hero.
Yeah, and while I would say that T1 in general are quite flexible as a team, if they're playing into Alina here, I don't think that Topson has too much forgiveness for what he can get away with on mid lane. Lina is a very strong lane dominator, so something like a Venge mid could be very difficult to run. Same for Tusk mid. I don't think that's a very good matchup for him against Alina as well. So thinking that it's Topson's hero that we're still missing, and that this is going to be probably just an offlane Undying again, possibly, and the carry Morphling.
Do you feel like T1's kind of drafted into a corner now with the... Because again, we weren't sure exactly where this Lina was heading, but with the pickup of the Disruptor, it's becoming more and more clear that it's probably going to be headed towards that mid.
It's very likely when you see the Lina that it is going to be played as a mid, because she doesn't have anything that she fears. Normally when you pick a flex pick hero, it's like, oh, I don't like that matchup, can I go somewhere else? But Lina, she's just happy every single matchup. That's easy, I can win that. And they're going to add Beastmaster now, giving themselves some big tower push, even more vision. Look at the crazy vision game on the side of Na'Vi. They have Clockwork for the rockets, they have Hawks coming in as well. And with that vision, they can get glimpses out. So very synergetic. Some big tower push, even more vision. Look at the crazy vision game on the side of Na'Vi. They have Clockwork for the rockets, they have Hawks coming in as well. And with that vision, they can get glimpses out. So very synergetic draft here from Na'Vi. I like what they're building. And they get a bit more frontline as well.
Yeah, I like the consideration that they're giving towards vision, and like you said, a really neat sort of dynamic when you have something like the Hawk, or even just, you know, the rocket flare, right? If you're able to throw it out, you can grab that glimpse, push them right back into your arms. Clock can get into position if needed. You've just got so many pieces that fit together so nicely with this draft of Na'Vi currently. Now all you need is just that major, you know, right-click damage dealer for VTune, and I'm curious to see, you know, what they opt for, considering what we're looking at here on the side of T1.
Yeah, I think for now I'm feeling them being like pretty flexible. They can pick a lot of different carries. I could see them running something like a Slark. I could see them grabbing PL. Quite a few things fit into Navi's draft still. T1, they're probably considering what hero will solve the most of the problems that they have here. I would suggest like Puck for them perhaps, but it's difficult against the Disruptor. So not quite sure what's going to be their solution here.
Yeah, I like the idea of the puck, like you said, because they'll give them a skirmisher and it gives them a silence more lockdown, but I don't know. Again, I feel like they're a little bit backed into a corner on the side of T1 with the way that they've been drafting, so...
Yeah, they have a lineup that's very capable of playing aggressive, so still I would feel something like the Spirit Heroes being strong options if you want to play something like Void Spirit. You could easily turn up the pace and go for a lot of kills, but again, I feel like their lineup is hinging a lot on one player, Anathan. So much pressure was on him in last game, and I feel the same way here. Lone Druid is the ban out. Yeah, that could have been a good hero to play as 4 and let the Morphling get big and just push with the Lone Druid and the rest of the team.
Yeah, traditionally speaking, it feels like Void Spirit might be a nice choice because it does have a pretty... Okay, they go for the puck. They're just not... They're not worried about it. They're like, you know, it's going to be hard, but I have faith.
It fits their draft
too, right?
Yeah.
You've got the save with the snowball. You've got a couple ways to kind of protect people. Soul Rip too.
The thing is that it fits their draft so nicely, even though it's difficult to play it into Disruptor. It is quite good against Beastmaster and Clockwork and Lina. All of them have pretty slow disables. The hookshot is fast, but outside of that, Puck has an easy time dodging these stuns. The Light Strike Array is almost impossible to land on a Puck. So they just think, okay, it's synergetic enough against or with our own team, and it's decent against a few of the enemy heroes, but Disruptor is going to be the bane of this Puck. And it's going to be Void Spirit for Navi instead.
Okay.
Oh, V2 on the Lina, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
This is something a little bit different, and I have to say, I like it. I like the concept of this. How do you feel, though?
I do not like the chances for the offlane of T1 here. I think that could be a difficult offlane laning into the Lina Disruptor lane, possibly. That would be so much ranged damage output. And like Lina core here against Undying as well will be tough for Undying to get away with too much. The damage output is just great if it gets too close.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of harassment, like you said, being able to just throw out that Thunderstrike, followed up with anytime you go a little bit too close, if you want, you can go for the LSA, you can put some more damage down. Very scary. And again, I don't think any of us really saw that coming. We were pretty sure that that was going to be a mid-Lina, but with that last pickup, really solidifying, you know, something a little bit different. And I really appreciate seeing things that are different within the draft because I think it's more interesting. And I think that the people that set the meta are usually the people that are getting all the wins. So I'm feeling pretty good about this draft from Navi. I'm not sure what's going on with this Venge either. Can you explain that a little bit more for me? Why they opted for it?
Yeah, for sure. First, I want to touch on saying that I think Lina is a good choice to put into safe lane here, though, because she can be so powerful. And when they have Beastmaster already enabling your carry with extra attack speed as well, and then good lockdown, I think you can depend on her to be the main damage dealer. And the fact that they added in the Void Spirit, if he gets to the point of having Aghanim Scepter, then he can deal with Puck really well. It's a volatile matchup. But yeah, going into T1 and their draft, the Vengeful Spirit here, I think it's a nice hero when you have one hard carry that you're depending on him becoming big and strong, because the swap can work wonders defensively. It is going to be a core Venge, though, so we'll probably see him do a lot of suicidal swaps over on the side of perhaps Lina or even Beastmaster, try and get them out of position. And I'm expecting him to want to go for Aghanim Scepter to make these swaps without any real concern for his own life. So it will be fun to see what T1 are going to do with this.
Yeah, definitely something not super common. I like this game. I love the fact that we've got, you know, the safe lane Lina. We've got, you know, Vengeful Spirit picked up. Things that are just a bit out of the norm. And I'm just hoping that we have such an explosive game as game number 1, because game number 1 was super hype. And seeing a lot of like 2-0s recently within the group stage. And this one feels like, you know, really it could go either way.
It could. I think Navi currently are performing at a little bit higher level than T1, and T1 have to find the stability in their performance, because when they play at their best, they're really dominating. But I think they have some weaknesses. Last game, I think it was highlighted more as a draft issue, even more so than their execution. I think they played the draft well, but they weren't able to really put the squeeze on Navi, and eventually they came out ahead. We'll see here if Navi have T1's number again, or if T1 are gonna show us something nice here with the core bench and the puck, they can play really aggressive again.
Now, what did Navi do? Because I know they were never, you know, like, what's the word? I mean, no one ever thought that they were bad by any means, right? Obviously, they made it out out of their regional qualifier, but I think a lot of people were undervaluing them. What have they done recently to really solidify, you know, these victories and be able to, you know, prove like, hey, don't count us out?
I think it comes down a lot to just the way that they're able to understand what is needed in the game. Like they're playing, the heroes that need to cooperate with each other are usually combining really well. If they identify that, oh, there's one simple way to solve a game, like we saw in the last game, then they will go hard for that objective. And like basically what I'm trying to say is Navi's game understanding and how to break the game down is very good. But the important thing, I suppose, that sets them apart from some of the teams that have been doing a little bit worse here in this group stage before we went into the playoffs is just that they play better together. Like they're combining their abilities to a better degree. We have a lot of fantastic players here, but ultimately you're only as strong as your weakest link, right? Everyone has to understand what is going on and play into the timings.
No, I'll absolutely agree with that. And that also, you know, lends itself to kind of the difference between Navi and T1 especially, with the idea that they just recently brought on Ana, they brought on Topson. Very, very good players, highly respected. You know, so many people are just tuning in some cases, just for them, just because the name is familiar, right? They played TI, they've won. But at the same time, they haven't had as long of a time to play with the rest of their team, with Cuckoo, Zephyr, and Whitemon. So it is an adjustment. And while, you know, I'm a big fan of this support combination of Whitemon and Zephyr, and especially Zephyr last game, like watching his positions that he had with that Wyvern to try to get counter initiations. They provide a stable base, but it's still, you know, it's a learning experience. It's still finding that stride, getting that synergy. Whereas you look at Navi, these guys have been playing together for quite a bit now. You know, they've had DPC together. They've, you know, no one in solo alone. Like these two guys have been playing together for how long? And that is something that you can't artificially create and just slap a sticker on and make it work, right?
That's definitely true. I like what you mentioned, though, that they haven't had too long time to play together. I mean, Ana is known for treating Dota, you know, top tier Dota in the international like it's a summer job. You know, he wins TI, then takes some time off, and then when TI is starting to come around again, the season is up, he just rejoins. So I think if any player in the world is good at just joining a team and immediately performing at a high level, Ana is probably it. Like he's done this before. But they're not really clicking at the level that I think a lot of people expected T1 here. They still need to turn up a little bit more if we're going to be seeing them advance deeper into this last chance qualifier here. I think they need to just find what is missing.
Yeah, I feel like in some ways it's almost too high of expectations. We've seen, you know, because Ana has joined back throughout the year, just on different teams, because he's like, you know, we're Dota players. We say like, oh, we're going to take some time off. We're going to take a break. We're going to go and we're going to retire. And then we just keep crawling back again. And I feel like every time Ana has reappeared, whether it was on OG or, you know, wherever, people are like, oh man, this guy is going to absolutely crush. And then when he, you know, understandably has some difficulties because it's a new team, he hasn't been playing or whatnot, it's the immediate like, oh my god, you know, this guy's so bad, blah blah blah, what is he doing? It's a hard thing. And I think you know, with Topson too joining in, he at least has someone that's also very friendly that he knows quite well. But Topson also just, you know, kind of finding his stride, playing with these other guys that they haven't had the experience with, and they're all exceptionally good, but you can't artificially create these bonds, these trusts, and just the synergy right off the bat.
Yeah. Finally, we get into the game here. I had a little bit of a pause, but now it seems like both teams are ready. And we have T1 positioning in their own jungle, just waiting on the high ground, see if anyone is coming over. But it seems like Navi are not actually making a 5-man move right here. They already moved down bottom with Lina. Going for an interesting starting build, by the way, on V-Tune here on the safe lane.
I was going to ask about that. I was looking at it, I was like, 3 branches and blades of attack. Like, that seems kind of weird.
Well, it's quite common for a lot of ranged carries to go for no regen builds and go for as high damage output as possible. And like the best build, it's what we saw a lot throughout this year's DPC as well, with like different Magic Wand, Iron Branch builds. This is a nice way to start out, I think, for Lina, since she has such long range. She can really lay in the right clicks.
I'm very curious to see how this safe lane Lita progresses. Just because I'm not super familiar with seeing her in this particular role. This is a hero that I really, really enjoy, and I can see the potential, especially when you look at the lineup. Can't get there quite fast enough, but we'll take a little bit of damage here. Turn back around, throw out the LSA. She's a pretty fast hero. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, but 3 runes going the way of T1, so they get a bit of advantage already going into a laning stage.
So which lane are you the most interested in watching for this game?
I'm a mid player. I'm very biased. I'm going to be watching no one. If I have a chance to watch no one in his laning stage performance, I'm going to be watching him a lot. You're going to have to keep me updated on the side lanes here.
Alright, well, I'm trusting you to watch that mid lane like a hawk then. And speaking of hawks here, this top lane, we've got Lacey's got the point and the axes. It's just going to be able to do a lot of damage over here to Whitemon. And again, this is a hero that typically gets picked up because he is a lane dominator. And he has landed quite a few stacks of decay. My god, there's only 380 HP for Lace. So they do have to be careful, but it doesn't feel like he's suffering too badly because Solo just continues to harass using that Thunderstrike. The axes come through again, and he's a big tanky boy, but you start to get these stacks up. He's kind of dodging back. So you have the Decay Ana, though, making his way over, sensing blood in the water. We'll go for the waveform. We'll go pop the fairy fire, but end of the day, there it is. There's our first blood.
Yeah, that was a lot of hard work and preparation there by Whitemon, spamming for so long. And finally, when you have a Morphling, he's able to join you so easily there. Just one waveform and he's in with the right clicks.
Bottom lane seems to be going pretty quietly for the time being.
Oh, he's getting a kill up top, maybe. He's chasing him down. Finally gonna run away.
Waga, you baited me! Immediately top, and I'm just like, oh. Well, not yet, anyways. We'll pop himself the mango, just continue to put that decay pressure. Checking in with the mid lane, very much neck and neck here. We've got 11-1 over on the Void Spirit and 10-1 on Puck. So both of these guys matching up pretty equally. Bottom lane, a little bit of aggression though over onto V2. Very nice cogs though from Sweden Strong. We'll be able to protect V2 a little bit longer. In fact, that battery assault being very annoying against Stuffer.
Yeah, just trading hits. He's gonna run back in the end. V2 is gonna be fine, but needs some time to regen using the Tango. But good trades here. I think that overall, Navi's lane is probably a little bit stronger. But when T1 go in with a Venge and Tusk at the same time, they can trade pretty hard. The issue is Lina is always so far back though.
I think it's a really nice pairing too when you've got something like a Clockwork who's able to kind of throw his body forward. If they get out of position, he's able to hold them in place, and this is just what we keep seeing with V2 when he's playing things like Drought, what he's playing now, this Lina. He's very happy to sit far back and just apply the damage while the rest of his team tanks it.
Yeah, so far I have to say I didn't expect Cuckoo to have this many CS here. He's getting a pretty decent laning stage despite laning into a Lina who is so good at harassing.
A little bit more harass here over onto Lace. He's just sitting so low. He's got 12 stacks of decay. That feels very tough.
Yeah. We already see the intentions well by Ana on his Morphling, by the way. He's going straight for an early Lincoln Sphere in this game. When you play against stuff like Beastmaster, then it's super nice to be able to have protection. Also Glimpse, having Lincolns to block that.
That's true. This is a value, very value Lincoln Sphere sort of game. A little bit of harass over onto Sweden Strong again. Follow-up, though, from V2. Just throwing out the LSA. Says back off. Don't touch my Clockwork.
Yeah, all lanes going pretty even for now overall, apart from the fact that top lane is going heavily the way of tier 1. Like this Beastmaster, Lace is not able to get any CS. Like mid lane and bottom lane are very close, but Lace has just been bullied away too much. This Undying, we can see why it's a first phase pick for T1, why they rate it so highly, and you have to question Navi. They never touch Undying, they don't ban him, they don't pick him, but Lace probably wishes they did right now. He's not having a great time.
But I also feel like this is a team that... Ooh, oh gosh, alright, Lace is forced to go pop the stick. It's a little close. Solo will just rejoin and they get the salve used. I was gonna say that that's like one of the things, it seems like even if they get bullied around in lanes, Navi is able to recover quite well, and I feel like a lot of that has to do with no one being on these tempo heroes and having just a really strong understanding of where he needs to be and what his role is in each game.
Yeah, we can expect him to make rotations now too. He got his level 6, so he has the Astral Step, and with the next rune spawn, we should see rotations coming in from mid laners.
He's gonna go grab himself a bounty rune, fill up the bottle. Might actually run over to Zephyr. So he is just wandering through. Yep, there it is, the step.
Oh, Lace
Couple
needed
clicks
that
off
kill.
as Lace, yeah, absolutely needed. It does end up getting the response kill, but get the drag. Thompson's here. Sweden Strong doing what he can to try to assist, but he's only level 4. So Ana gets a kill on Solo. My goodness. Everyone just realizing it's time to go.
Yeah, with power treads, he was just right-clicking him down so much. Brings down both heroes. So top lane is sort of disaster for Navi right now. There is the catapult wave. They have to go and stop this, or they're going to take a lot of tower damage. Looks like they're going to be fine. Just a pull coming in from Whitemon.
A little bit off on that that glimpse over in the mid lane, but definitely applying some pressure onto Thompson.
Right now, I think Navi, they need to coordinate something with no one. But the fact that he didn't get the rune, the Arcane rune going the way on Thompson, it makes it hard for no one to make a gank. He's too low mana right now to make a big move.
It's quite a difference from game number 1, where I feel like things amped up pretty quickly once we had those level 6s online.
Oh, there's still time. There's still a little bit of time before all the movement starts coming. I think they are certainly playing some active Dota already, but I think that T1 are very content to keep status quo as much as possible due to how much they're farming on their Morphling.
We do have the Falcon Blade completed now for Lina. Next up will be the Maelstrom, it appears. So farming pretty well down here. And it looks like we can see Thompson is making a rotation. He's got himself the Dream Coil. He's also going to be able to grab himself the bounty rune. Refill the bottle.
Yeah.
And look at this. Yeah, you can see Navi backing up a bit. Vici trying to get these creeps a little bit closer to his tower. Trade a bit back and forth over with no one and Thompson.
Yeah, gets a haste rune. That's a good one for Void Spirit. This is what they needed to start enabling him.
Gonna go for the dive on Thompson. They'll end up using the Dream Coil, but he just gets dragged right back in. Very nicely played by no one, getting a solo kill. And the first Dream Coil not gonna work out for the side of T1.
That's such a big outplay. He feels really good.
Lace is dead. Rest in pepperonis.
Solo getting
things
body
aren't looking good for Solo
here.
either. Yeah, I was about to say, he got the glimpse off over on Ana, but I think they're absolutely fine diving him. Whitemon's got a decent amount of health, 980 total max, so they're going to chase him down the corner. The teleport is coming in, but it might have just been a little too late. All right, now, no one, he does manage to go grab himself up Whitemon. Sure would love to have grabbed Ana, but not going to be the case just as the bottom lane. They do their own rotation, and they find a kill on Sweden Strong. V2 just teleporting out. He says, yep, I don't want to be here anymore. See ya.
Now we're starting to see the mid laners engage on the side lanes a lot here, with no one getting a kill bottom or top, and at the same time Thompson moving down bottom as well. The rotations are completely opening up, and Vitune moving over towards the mid lane on his Lina. He's really quite farmed right now. With this Javelin, his DPS is skyrocketing as well.
I feel like, so both of these mid laners, right, they have a similar purpose. They have, you know, the capability of being tempo, making space, achieving these ganks, but I feel like at the end of the day, Navi's draft is just a little bit stronger in terms of being able to put the damage down on the towers afterwards when they're going for that maximum efficiency. What do you think?
It's stronger for that. The thing is, though, that T1 are scaling slightly better into late game just by having Morphling. I think Lina is great. Oh, Bench is getting caught out.
Cuckoo. Goes for the swap, but can't outrun no one. As Sweden Strong following up with the battery assault. That's a dead Cuckoo, and over in the mid lane, they go and use the Dream Coil over on Solo. So just kills happening all over the map right now.
Yeah, he stays a little bit too far up. He's trying to get levels. He's only level 3 on Disruptor, so he wanted to be mid and try and leech some experience because it's mid at 10 and he's level 3. This is a big problem for him. He needs to get that ulti early so they can get some kills. Even using the Tome, he's only level 5 flat. Still has to farm the full next level to level 6.
Zephyr going a bit deep here, wanting to chase after V2. Sweden Strong using the cogs. Gonna try to use the Soul Rip Tower. We'll finish off. And it's not looking great here for this Clockwork as Lina just sitting back, clicking down this Tombstone. Solo also joining in though, could opt to go for a Glimpse play if he's able to. In fact, yes, he finds himself a candidate, but not going to be able to quite finish it up and connect. Zephyr rolling forward over onto no one, but this is not looking good for him because they'll still be able to get the kill. And only Thompson, after that whole exchange, is going to be standing on the side of T1.
It's a tough hero to try and roll on to the Void Spirit. He just puts down the Astral or the Ether Remnant and then uses Dissimulate to dodge your Snowball. So you get disabled and he doesn't get stunned by the Snowball and then he gets the kill. So nice play by Navi moving in there. I think they got a little bit too deep on T1. But I can appreciate that they're trying to be aggressive and distract from the fact that Morphling is farming. This waveform?
There's also a gank over into the mid lane, over onto no one. They use the Dream Coil, and that's going to be a shared experience on the top lane, though. Ana, they have the LSA. He's here. He's hunting for him. Can they get... No, they're not going to be able to grab him. He'll be able to teleport out.
He is lucky they got the TP cancel there on the mid lane, because if Disruptor TP'd in as well, he would be dead 100%. So, nice thing that they canceled him over there.
Radiant structures.
They're seeing the pressure over onto the mid tower. They'll go and use the fortification. So I'm going to use the Thunder Strike to get them off the tower. Pull the creeps away. There's the Invis Zephyr opening up with a big Walrus Punch. We'll be able to trap Sweden Song in the corner. This poor guy, I feel like, is just always getting beat on in this series.
I'm a bit concerned for Navi because I think right now T1 are actually not that strong. They are ahead by quite a bit, but their timing is going to be when they have Aghanims on bench. Morphling is also not really doing anything to join fights and contribute yet. This is only going to get more difficult as the game progresses here for Navi. They need to start enabling Lina and get more value out of her.
So how would you recommend they do that? Like, what's the plan to really unlock potential? So do get a Dream Coil again over onto no one. The hook shot going a little bit too far out here. Not sure if they were trying to aim and just get the stun. They will be able to go and grab Zephyr. Thompson, a couple of these clicks. Moving down to the low ground as Solo comes back in. He says, yeah, I got Static Storm if they're able to grab him, but not quite able to, again, have that connection. So pressure being placed over on this mid tower. They do have these rally creeps. Don't do quite as much damage as they used to be able to, but they'll take the mid tower.
Yeah, they get the tower. They have good heroes against the Glimpse in a way, actually, because they can dodge with a snowball, and the Puck also able to keep himself safe there. But
no one creeping forward. But on a wave forming underneath the tower, realizes, all right, they're probably sweeping up towards me. If they just took the mid tower, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go down to the buy angle.
This is pretty funny to me how long they've been able to just sit and chill with Vengeful bottom. As we see a nice brawl here.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Tanky boy versus tanky boy. Hook shot, though. Swap coming in from Cuckoo, but needs to be careful. All right, the follow-up from Ana. Make sure that they get that kill. End up still losing Zephyr as no one zips in and then zips out as fast as he can.
Yeah, it feels like Navi are starting to do what they need to, which is use this Dark Troll Summoner that they have dominated and take down some towers. They had a really, really tough start for Lace in this game. He had such a shutdown farm in laning stage, but now finally they can start using the Beastmaster to take towers. I think they have to make more moves like this, because T1, they're allowed to farm so much, and once the Aghanims is up on bench, I think they hit a great power spike.
Okay, I like this. They decide to go for a smoke. Sweden Strong and Solo going to make their way towards what appears the upper part. They do have a Roar available over on Lace, too. But looks like they're going to play behind no one, see if anybody jumps them. They do have that hook shot available.
Yeah, no one in this game has his Yule Scepter complete as well. Nice tool to protect yourself against the puck. Pretty good overall here as well.
Ooh, there's a big scan. They realize there are people coming. See the hook shot immediately into the Static Storm. They're going to just try to blow up Thompson, and they'll be able to find it. Whitemon popping off with that Flesh Golem is going to try chasing after Sweden Strong. They get the swap off, so it looks like this poor little clock is going to just get absolutely run over by Cuckoo and Whitemon.
Yeah, one kill for Cuckoo. Finally starting to join in for the fights here. And Zephyr trying to set up top. He wants to get a kill on the Beastmaster somehow, but he's playing safe on Lace.
So for Navi, is the hero that you want to focus on going to be Lace, just having his movements around the map put the pressure down, or is there someone in particular that you feel like we should be watching?
At this point, I think it's about no one and what moves he can make, but we have a little bit of a fight here with Zephyr going in, fighting Soul.
A little bit of a glimpse back, so it's just Zephyr versus Solo. It's still going to end up in a kill. And Sweden Strong does manage to snap up the Invis rune away from Thompson.
T1 are feeling very confident to take the 4v5.
There's the Dream Coil coming into play. No one getting caught out over here on the side. He's just getting stun locked. It's not looking great. They go and they use the Laguna Blade. They do a lot of damage though on this Lina. They'll be able to take down Cuckoo. They take down Thompson. Sweden Strong will eventually fall. Whitemon though, they'll use the Roar. Triple kill now for V2. He's just allowed to sit so far back. Oh my god. The power of the safe lane Lina.
And they bring back the
Rampage. Oh my god, there it is.
Technically.
Oh,
Technically no, a Rampage, right? we count it. It's 2 hero kills.
It's close enough.
Yeah, that's really amazing the way they position there, and they enabled Lina to get all the right clicks done. Look at Void Spirit going in, taking a lot of the focus. They burst him, but they use so many resources just to get him killed, and nobody is able to go on Lina. You can see her auto attacks just flying in, and they tried to swap her in finally, but already they have used so much. They just didn't have enough in the tank to finish off Lina after focusing the Void Spirit that hard.
Got the lightning, just seeing all those procs from the Maelstrom.
Oh yeah, he's in a great spot now. Now he has full BKB complete as well. With Maelstrom, with Falcon Blade at 17 minutes. This is some fantastic farm. And he finds Brigand's Blade, which is a strong neutral item for Alina.
So after that fight, how nervous are you now if you're T1? Because you have been ahead, you have been in a good position, you've been making some nice moves. You're still technically ahead, right? You still have a pretty good control, you've got that 2k net worth lead, but it definitely feels scary after that whole fight just occurred with the way that they were able to have V2 sit so far back and get so much done.
The difference was one team enabling their carry in this fight, and the other team didn't have their carry anywhere near. They didn't have a tier 1 tower for him to TP to. Morphling could not be in this fight, even if he wanted to. So I think T1 have to be careful about taking fights where they're not able to get value from the Morphling.
No one. It's going to be the smoke. And combing through this jungle, do manage to find themselves Solo. He'll throw down the kinetic field. He's still going to end up dying, but is the one to tank the gank. And I think you're happy with that if you're Navi.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it does feel great to lose a hero like this. They're also going to lose control over that area right now. But at any rate, the tier 2 tower did go down before this. Beastmaster finished his job in that sense. Top lane is now clearing out a little bit.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're going to lose someone, it's always better to lose your support and not your
definitely.
Core there.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, you'd like to avoid losing anyone if possible, but sometimes it just doesn't pan out that way. As Sweden Strong would definitely know because he keeps walking into like everyone on the side of T1, it feels.
You have to be brave sometimes. Sweden Strong, by the way, is going for the Aghanims on his clockwork as well. Gonna go for that spam of rockets that we saw yesterday as well by the Aghanims clock. It's quite a powerful tool to have.
We do have BKB completed now for Ana, so we've got 2 cores now on the board with the completed BKB, and they are moving their way right into this Roche pit at this time. They'll smoke up outside. Looks like they didn't have any clear detection though, or anything to be able to notice that they're in the pit, but they are making their way over now, so they saw that D ward. They have a general idea.
Too late.
Moving himself forward. There's gonna be the glimpse. They know he's got the vision, and there it is. There's an Aegis now for V2. Hookshot coming in over onto Tops, and can they lock him down for long enough though is the question. The roar onto the backlines, over onto Cuckoo. They're gonna immediately lose lead and song, but they'll be able to put out some more damage as Zephyr's next to fall. Topson trying to run away. Not gonna be able to quite get their hands on this puck, but they do manage to get their hands on Cuckoo. They'll lose Solo, and now V2, that is of course going to be the Aegis. He's coming back up again. Buyback now from Solo. They want to protect over on the side. This throw back with the swap into the LSA though. Can they finish off? Tana just goes away for him. He's going to be able to survive this. Another glimpse back though, as this Disruptor does not want to get chased after, but he is going to end up falling after he bought back. A beautiful fight here for the side of T1. They'll be able to easily take this tier 1.
There's a lot to talk about that happened there. Beautiful blink save by Zephyr immediately there with a snowball reaction, but also that haste room was so valuable for Ana, allowing him to chase down a lot of people, and I think T1 really needed this. You'd think that Navi would win this fight easily since they just got Roshan. Initiation is clean on puck, but look at Tusk. Saves the puck from the chain stun there by Lina. And from there on, that haste rune spawning in and Morphling clearing out a lot.
And I think that's another thing that's like super important to mention, that honestly I had a moment of just total forgetfulness, but when you have that BKB on your Lina, you know, you feel very powerful, but you have to remember Swap goes through that.
Swap goes through and Morphling's right clicks as well. I mean, Morphling wins the trade really hard against Lina in a 1v1 if he's next to her. And he's gonna go for a Manta into Eye of Skadi. Once the Eye of Skadi is complete, like that's a way down the road, right? But once that's complete, it will be difficult for Lina to stand and fight.
It almost feels like the BKB gives you a little bit of a false sense of security. And as Ana grows more and more powerful, it is going to be more scary in the way that you're able to position, because you do have, you know, a couple frontliners, but Sweenstrong, he just doesn't look that tanky when you see the damage pouring out from the side of T1.
He's not really a tanky frontliner. He's more just about trying to catch people and let his team follow up. The issue is, though, if Tusk is ready with a blink save, then he can disjoint that follow up. Navi rely heavily on chain stunning stuff and killing them during the chain stun, but they can protect against that with Zephyr.
This is one of my reasons why I'm a huge fan of Zephyr, is just his positioning is always very, very good. So he can pull off either some saves, the counter initiation, like we saw on the Wyvern earlier. He's definitely one of those people that you have to highly consider. From forward, they find themselves Lace. They've got the double damage. Do have the Dream Coil if necessary, but you know what? It's not necessary. Topson will happily clean up the Beastmaster and tidy up his own jungle here.
Yeah, they get the kill, they start pushing top, they take over the outpost again, so that area of the map is again under their control. Meanwhile, Navi want to do the same, but I'm not sure they have the time to move over to take the outpost. They're TPing in on it, actually. T1 are looking to fight.
Solo. Well, that's a dead Disruptor. These things happen.
Yeah, they happen, but now they're in a terrible spot. They don't have control of the top part of the jungle, and bottom part of the jungle is also belonging to T1. So they're really on the back foot now.
That, and now they don't have a Static Storm to try to help protect this tier 2. And that is that's a big deal, you know. That's also their catch. Jump forward, swap coming into play. They'll finish off the tower. Do have that Laguna Blade, though, trying to get the clicks off over onto Cuckoo, and that is going to be the death, but he's coming right back up again because he does have the axe. Jump, oh, look at these cogs over here in the corner. They're holding just everyone in place, but again, with that snowball, 3 dead on the side of Na'Vi. This is looking real spooky right now.
That was just not the decision going in there by V2 and trying to kill the Vengeful. Even if you get the burst on her, she's going to swap you when she dies, because she will come back and have spells ready. That was never going to work out in a good way. And now she's still around, still able to fight.
Oh, okay. Lace was there. Not there anymore. They drop a Static Storm, which is nice, but gonna need a little bit more damage, because look at these guys. They don't care. They just stand there. They've even dropped their seeds of... Their Seeds of Serenity, and they're like, all right, we'll just stand in our grass. We'll touch grass while you do that.
Please, Moxie, it's called the Verdurous Dale. We talked about this. We prepared.
Please use its formal name in the time going forward. You know, if I do that, people will be like, what the hell is she talking about?
Yeah, you should just be talking about how Ana is doing a lot of damage due to Dark Mercy, the Brigand's Blade passive effect. Of course you know what all these random names are.
Oh, for sure, for sure. You know, that's very, very important. For those of you that haven't been studying up on your neutral item lore. Oh, the swap immediately over into no one. He's going to try to assimilate away. Looks like he's going to come into place. All right, Sweden strongly going for the cogging over to Ana, but that's a very scary perspective. You're just trapped in there with Ana. He's fine with it. Thompson going forward, uses the Dream Coil. Trying to just do the damage over on the side, but Ana's beyond godlike. He just jumps in, gets kill on solo, following up over onto V-Tune. He manages to go and drag the LSA. They'll end up losing Zephyr. Now Ana, he is silenced. He's got to be a little bit careful as they'll use the whip, try to run out, get the roar off over onto Thompson. Whitemon doing whatever he can to try to keep him alive, but they just have too much damage over onto V-Tune. They just extended perhaps a little bit too much on the side of T1.
I love how it's never the person's fault, you know, the guy who's guilty for all of this, he lives, he's fine. The Ana Morphling diving in and causing all this, he gets the TP out. Meanwhile, his team dies and he just hits them with the don't give up as he TPs out. A little bit of a clumsy overplay there into Navi, but Navi gets some much needed kills. They were looking really dire. We can see again how they're just trying as they can to hold on to this game.
Yeah, 6k net worth bleed at about 26 minutes in. And, you know, they're still putting up the fight. They're still trying to, you know, punish any overextension, which definitely T1 got a little bit too crazy there. Perhaps need to just chill out a little bit. But it is still very spooky for the side of Navi. They are not out of the woods just yet.
Yeah, certainly not. I feel like right now they need some big D wards here on the side of Navi. They need to clean up their base. They get one D ward in the base, but they also need to try and get these jungles secured again, so they have some form of access without risking dying.
Solo has some big dreams on this little disruptor. He wants to get himself the Aghanim Scepter for that powerful Static Storm upgrade.
It's a great way to kill.
Ways off.
Yeah, it's a great way to kill both the Puck and the Morphling. I mean, either of those heroes would be super susceptible if he gets it. And he gets the second D ward too. Okay, Solo doing a good job finding these wards. Big dreams on the little disruptor. He's had a tough game here. He died 9 times, but if he can reach these Aghanims, all he needs is one good Static Storm.
Can you run the math on here? We've got a trusty shovel on him. If he can get how many bounty runes, how fast is it going to propel him towards that Aghanim Scepter, Waga?
Oh, better dig off cooldown then. It's ready right now. Use it.
Oh no! Passive shovel. But hey, you know, that's more gold on the map, and with this current map economy, every little bit helps. I like what they're doing up here, though. No one hiding off into the corner. They have lockdown if needed. They've got Dive Bomb over on Beastmaster. Yes, as the Roar.
Oh, the swap can save him.
Trying to make the play over onto Thompson. Yep, they'll get the swap off, and the follow-up now from Zephyr. They'll go and drop the Dream Coil. It's not looking good now for no one, because he's just essentially locked into place. Very patient and very calculated.
That was
Rotation
a good bait
from the side of T1. That's great bait.
Yeah, Venge has that great utility of being both able to initiate but also able to save teammates, so that was some patience coming out by Thompson.
Running right past Ana with the Haystern.
Ada is sitting too tanky for him to be able to burst him.
Well, this time it's going to be Sweden Strong who ends up biting the bullet. Solo gonna hide a little bit closer in the tree line, throw out one more of those thunder strikes, and then immediately teleport out.
Why are they bullying Sweden so much? I feel very bad about this. 10 deaths now.
Do you feel very targeted?
I do. I sympathize a lot with this. Poor Sweden Strong. He has the best name in all of professional Dota. And he has to die like this.
Yeah, there's no bias from Waga here at all.
Looks like T1 now could go down and look for more towers. There's 40 seconds for Clockwork to respawn. Since he used his buyback previously, it takes quite a while before he comes back. ultimately. They're going to back up and they want to control Roche. It has spawned. They're going to find out when they go in here and check. And they can bring it down really fast. They just need to get Morphling over there.
Well, he is flowing his way over. I think that's what he does. He doesn't swim, he flows. We were having this debate the other day, and we were trying to figure out, does he swim over there, or what does he do? Yeah. He flows.
He hydrates over there.
the Hydro homie. Well, this is a cute courier, the little seahorse over here on the side, but they're just not in position to go and challenge this Roche, so it's going to be the Aegis picked up for Ana.
Yeah, and finally I think they're going to make...
11-0 and 7.
Yeah, all they need to do is make a move towards top now and start pushing down that lane. I know that Na'Vi are recognizing this. This is the last bastion of defense they have, that tier 1 tower on top lane. So they're sitting around trying to find a kill, but I think they're better to get out right now. A lot of people in the area.
We'll say Lace is doing a great job. Oh, okay, as Thompson immediately finds him. He's going to try to punish. No one with the follow-up. Drops the Remnant. Whitemon trying to get over there, trying to keep him alive, but it's just a little bit too far away from the rest of the team. Not going to be able to go and cancel out the TP of no one, but they do manage to finally remove Lace. And that was what I was going to say. I was going to say Lace is doing a great job of just being absolutely annoying, staying in that top lane, forcing them back to deal with this push. But with that pick-off, it's going to make it a lot easier now for T1 to remove this this tower and push the creeps even further back.
You know what's crazy to me? Is that Na'Vi just finished sort of the first actual item on either of their two supports. Both of them have been ambitiously going for Aghanims. Now they have completed it on Sweden Strong. So he has his Aghanim Scepter and can start spamming those rockets and has a bit more usefulness in the team fight. But the fact that they're going for the double Aghanims Russian supports, I think that might be a bit of the reason why they've been struggling so much in these early fights here. It's just very greedy by them.
So you'd rather see something like, you know, a Force Staff, a Glimmer Cape or something to that effect, more utility than going for just the straight up aggression?
I think both the Aghanims are good. It's just difficult to go for two of them at the same time and not go for at least one, like Force Staff or something to get out of the Tusk catching people or to reposition out of the Tombstone. So just, you know, could be a reason why this game has been so difficult to this point.
So just, you know, stagger them a little bit more. So that way one person's working on a utility item and then the other person is going for the more greedier.
Yeah, you kind of have to pick what you want to get. You know, you stretch for one item and then you sack the other guy.
I feel like, don't get me wrong, this Disruptor has like such an incredible ultimate when you have the Ags, but it seems like it would be more important for Sweden Strong to perhaps pick up the
Both are huge. Oh, watch out for the smoke swap here.
The swap, yeah. Look at them inching closer. Thompson looking, hey, anybody home? Don't even need the swap when you walk out of the base like that, Lace. Oh, goodness. All right, that's one picked off. And look at this. Ana's like, all right, I'm going to just go and hit these buildings. Get another swap off, dragging a little bit further in. Not going to be able to finish off no one this time, though, as he's able to just Astral Step away. Damage is being done because they don't have this Lina.
He's down for 50 on beasts. Yeah, this is really a big problem.
Lina over here.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
That's just a Rax, easy.
Radiant's middle barracks.
It's looking to be more too.
Yeah, I mean they have Lina whenever they want her. She has travels ready. She can TP back and join. But the issue is you got to win a fight without your Beastmaster. You can't really do that. So they're trying to smoke around, get a good position. They sold items. Look at Disruptor. He sold everything.
Oh
he has only Aghanims.
Oh my god.
He wants this one ulti.
Is he going to be able to find it, though? All right, jump in over onto Whitemon, over on the back line. Zephyr popping that BKB. He doesn't even catch anyone with the ulti. Oh, no. It's a disaster. Cuckoo is going to end up cleaning up V2. Oh, my God. Absolute disaster for the side of Na'Vi.
Yeah, they're scrambling now, but looks like Ana, there's nothing that can really stop him. He has Aegis, he has BKB, Manta, Lincolns, everything is ready. They now respawn with Beastmaster, but his team is gone.
It was so much gamble of like having that early Ags. Okay, the swap opening over onto V2 and he's just dead. Dead for 80-something seconds. The GG gets called. My god, T1 striking back with a total aggression and just calculation in this game number 2.
I mean, I like the attempt there, selling everything to get the Aghanims, hoping for maybe I can get a big ulti and we can kill them, but it didn't work out. It feels like T1, they struggled a lot in the first game, but this looked like once they have the sense of security that they can go early game, late game, they're strong throughout the entirety of the game. They don't have a draft that hinges entirely on one phase. It's